Hello my friends, welcome to this quick Jinx guide. I'm currently rank on Jinx on EO West. I was full-time pro player and will give my best to give you a short explanation on how you can actually execute this champion in solo queue. So when it comes down to item builds, we will always have a few different item builds and it's always depending on the patch. What I'm currently building on Jinx myself is always kinda going Stormrazor into Hurricane and then usually Infinity Edge or LDR. The reason why I go this build, I will explain it later because not a lot of people do this. What other people do, or what you can also do, for example, a lot of people right now are going Kraken Slayer into Phantom Dancer and then follow up by Hex Optics, right? Because Hex Optic doesn't give attack speed. With PD you get a lot of attack speed. There are obviously also other options, like you could go Yuntor, first item, then followed up by Hurricane into Infinity Edge. In my opinion, what you should do, you should play around with it and then take a look what's like working the best for you, There can also be Hex Optics first item. You should always take a look at the patch, like what is getting buffed, what is getting nerfed, okay? Always be super aware of that. And the reason why I'm going Stormrazor is pretty simple. So the reason why I'm going Stormrazor is that I'm playing really aggressive on these midlane waves. That means what I usually do is, let's imagine here would be a wave, then what I usually do is I attack minions once and then I move up to the enemy to poke them. Right? And this is what I always do in my games. I wait for my Stormrazor to be ready, and then once my Stormrazor is ready, I use the movement speed to attack the enemy. I have so much range that usually every single AD carry I can just auto-attack and trade damage for free, and this is mainly what I'm using Stormrazor for. Aside from that, you obviously can position way better in teamfights, like when the enemy engages you, for example, you can do one auto-attack, run away, and then start shooting, for example. It's really good if you want to bait any sort of teamfights. And then when it comes down to her spells, obviously her passive, right, you're getting attack speed and movement speed on reset. Your champ is a reset champion. You should play really hard for these resets. So every single time you are not getting a reset, you should kind of play non-committal. That means don't get yourself in danger, don't really die unless you're getting the reset. So let's say, for example, there's like a low target here and you see a window to like maybe, flash for him, get an auto attack off and then get a reset and then you can like completely carry the fight. That's totally fine. But just flashing forward and then not getting the kill will usually mean that you guys are losing the team fight and you're always having like a really good win condition by just playing for this reset. Then when it comes to her Q, it's only important that we can actually get 3 stacks on the Q. You see it here. I have what? I have 1.17 attack speed now. So first auto attack, my attack speed is going up, and then another auto attack, my attack speed is going up, another auto attack, my attack speed is going up. That's kind of it. And now the important part is that we can do one swap with our minigun to our rocket launcher and still maintain the attack speed. So you see here, I will auto attack now. And you see when I swap to rocket launcher, the first auto attack of my rocket launcher is the same attack speed as my minigun. So I auto, rocket launcher, same attack speed. And now if I would attack speed with my rocket launcher, you see my stacks are falling off. So in the best case, you are never doing that. That means you auto attack, now you have 3 stacks. Now you can do it like this. And now you want to maintain the 3 stacks when you're using minigun again. That's the only real thing we have when it comes to the rocket launcher. What is also really important when it comes to these minigun and rocket launcher is that you're actually playing attack move. Because here you can actually see the attack range and it's super important. Like let's say for example you're auto attacking with melee range. Now you're clicking back a bit and you can swap and you press A again and you immediately see your range. So in the moment you're clicking back, you swap, you press A, you see the range and know exactly how far you can go. This is really good for like players that have not that much experience with Jinx right now and are just trying to learn it. And then Jinx W, I mean you're just shooting it, like usually it's really good on vision, or what you can also do is to kind of do it in pockets. Like let's say for example when you are on bot lane and a lot of enemies are always walking into this pocket here, then what you can always do is kind of shoot it in the middle and like whatever position basically the enemy is staying, like even if the stays here, right, and I'm just shooting in the middle, then it will usually hit. So every single time using it in pockets is usually like pretty broken. What is also good if enemies are next to a wall, so let's say enemy would be here and he's spacing and you are here, then usually if you shoot it like this, then he has no window to even dodge the W, and this is kind of how you use it, but that's basically it. And then obviously when you're using your W, you never want to do it when you have your auto attack up, so that means when you auto attack W, auto attack, auto attack, auto attack W, auto attack, auto attack, so you never want to W when you're having auto attack up, but this is basically for every single spell in the game. And then her E spell is really good to chain CC. So let's say for example you have a Nautilus hook here, a Vi ulti, like whatever, basically any CC, you see my E range is insane. Like a lot of people don't know this, but my E range is actually absolutely insane. Like I could even throw my E from here and it would probably still hit. You see it? And now, like, a lot of people will run up and use it. But if my Leona is, for example, now throwing an ultimate, what I should do, the first thing, like, I should not auto attack, I should always use my traps, and then I should start moving, because my traps always need like a few seconds to pop, right? It's not insta CC. And to keep this CC chain up, it's really important that we use it immediately. You see the range is pretty big. And then how we are using the trap in teamfights is pretty simple. Like, usually we will use it to protect ourselves. So let's say the enemies have, I don't know, like Rengar Talon or something. What I usually do, let's say here's a fight. Then what I tend to do is I just use it in front of me and I space like this. So I use my E basically as a wall. And whenever someone is trying to cross the wall, it's like Yasuo wall, then I'm kind of safe. So I'm building myself up kind of a safe side or like a safe space, and this is how I'm playing teamfight with Jinx. And of course, like, what you can obviously do is always put these traps into chokes, right? They cannot cross it. It's really, really nice. But usually I put it like in front of myself and use it like as a tool to just peel for myself. And then her ultimate, there's not much to say, honestly. Like, the further you are away, the more damage it's doing, and it also on missing health. So when the enemies are low HP, obviously it deals more damage. The important part with Jinx is that you have good map awareness. So let's say, for example, someone is low and like recalling, you should look a lot on the map, and like when enemies are low HP and maybe someone is recalling here right now, then we quickly want to throw ultimate and then we can fight again, right? It's super good. You will get a lot of kills by this. Regarding summoners, you have flash, and like your second summoner spell is kind of adaptable. You can go barrier usually because you want to get prio. You can go cleanse. You can even go ghost in some games, but I feel like barrier is then more valuable. This was like the main part to her spells, and when it comes down to gameplay, especially in lane, what I usually do as Jinx is I play for pushes. So when there are like early waves, what I tend to do is I play a lot for pushes, a lot of times for cheetah recall. I explained that one already in a few videos before. You can check that one out already. So I'm basically slow pushing the first two waves and then crashing the third wave, then getting base for a cult, right? And with Jinx, the only real proactive tool you have is your rocket launcher in lane, and by that you can basically just push the lane like whenever you want and you're in a good position. I hope you found this helpful. Feel free to check out my coaching Discord if you're interested in that. Aside from that, I'm also having a Patreon where you find coaching sessions, but also other content like tier lists or like my solo queue with commentary. And then I'm wishing you a nice day. Goodbye.